Okay, I think we are all set. I've opened the Zoom room about 25 minutes early. Just wanted to take an early start, talk with everyone that I can. I have a couple of hands up already. People are still logging in. Let's talk about the questions that you folks have. Akashji, please mute yourself. Let me mute you. Thank you. All right, just okay. FS.
Hello, Mr. Rajiv.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, so I had a small doubt. So currently I'm on my STEM OPT, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was fortunate enough my H1B got picked this year.
Mm-hmm.
My employer filed the H1B change of status, normal processing. It's still pending.
Mm-hmm.
I've been giving interviews with another company, so there is a chance I might get like an offer in this September or something.
Okay.
And I'm willing to leave my like the pending H1B and continue to work with the new employer on STEM. So is that like a viable thing? Like, can I ask my employer to do it? Is it still possible? Because H1B is still pending.
So you are on STEM OPT, right?
Yes.
Your question is, until I get converted to H1B, can I continue using my STEM
No,
OPT?
no, I'm completely leaving my H1B.
Or you want to withdraw from that?
Yeah, exactly. Like I still have two more attempts. Uh, I
Okay.
mean, there is like two different scenarios. One, I could get the offer in September. One, it could be November. But then first with the September case, is that an option if I want to completely leave my H1B with the current employer and then just continue working with the new employer on STEM from September?
Well, look, I'm not a big fan of dropping off the H1B
Okay.
because you don't know what the next H1B season is going to look like.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
You know what the government is trying to do. What will
Yeah.
happen is, and this is a frequently asked question,
Okay.
what will happen is what is the next H1B selection lot likely to be? So the
Mhm.
H1 selection is based upon what the government is trying to do is it'll be based upon the salary that you get. So
Okay.
people with the highest salary will be selected first. So
Okay.
with the group, for example, let's say software developer,
Mm-hmm.
people making the highest salaries will be selected first,
Got it.
then followed by people making lower salaries.
Yeah.
This may be the last year for this selection. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
to give up H1B that easily, probably not a good idea.
Mm, yeah. No, I'm just asking if it's an option. Like if I want to just, it's still
Yeah.
pending, it's not approved. If
Yeah.
I decide to sort of withdraw, is
Yeah.
that like an option?
So the way that you would do it is,
Mm.
this is what I understand the process to be.
Okay.
Once your H1B is filed with a change of status,
Yeah.
your DSO, or actually the system,
Mm.
service system,
Mm.
suspends your service and you are put in cap extension.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The problem is if your H1B is not withdrawn slash revoked,
Yeah.
you would not be able to get back onto your OPT because your change of status is either pending or approved, but your STEM OPT may not yet be activated. I
Okay.
mean, let me rephrase that because the cap extension actually goes for a full year now instead
Uh,
of just until October. So
Okay.
the cap goes on, but the problem is you may not be able to reactivate your STEM OPT if you want to get back onto STEM OPT, which you do, until your H1B is officially revoked. And
Okay.
the revocation can take multiple months, which
Oh,
is
okay.
which is a big problem because you could be stuck in between. You will have work authorization, but you won't be back on STEM OPT until the H1B is officially revoked
Okay.
and your DSO puts you back into your OPT,
STEM.
STEM OPT status.
Even if the H1B is pending?
Well, even if the H1B is pending, you've got work authorization
Yeah.
because you have cap, right?
I have STEM, right? My STEM actually
Yeah,
start.
but the STEM OPT, the problem with STEM OPTs, I'm not entirely certain about that. You can double check. I
Okay.
kind of have a little bit of a gap in my memory in this.
Okay.
What happens is when your H1B is filed with a change of status, it is
Hmm.
my understanding that your service is put in suspension.
Okay.
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 So whatever work authorization you had doesn't really count because you're put in cap. That's my understanding. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So when you go back and get your H1B revoked, your
Hmm.
service can be reinstated.
Okay. Got it.
But until it is revoked, which can take multiple months,
Hmm.
okay. So
Okay.
revocation request has been sent. Can you still continue working on your cap? I guess so. That's my guess. I don't remember. Like I said, I have a little bit of a gap in my memory, but I know that this is a tricky issue that
Okay.
should be discussed with the DSO and your lawyers. I don't remember all the details, but
Okay.
this is where I've seen people get stuck. Previously, we used to have uh, the cap last only till September 30th.
Okay.
Good thing is now we don't have that issue, but
Okay.
we still have the same problem. My
Uh-huh.
H1B change of status is still pending.
Hmm.
Uh, what is my status if my H1B is not revoked,
Hmm.
but it is on its way to being revoked,
Got
right?
it. Yeah. And then
So,
a small follow-up, like I've spoken about the September scenario, like in the November scenario, because like I've spoken to them, there is a chance I could push the deadline to November so I could have my H1. So in that situation, I spoke to the new employer and they told me that they need two pay cycles. Like in October, like two times pay stubs, like 15 days, 15 days. If they have two, then from November first week, I could sort of move into the new company. I mean, that's I think their policy. They need two pay stubs, it seems. Um,
well, first of all, there is no real reason for having two pay stubs. One is as good as two and three.
okay,
Normally, we require three or we submit three. But
okay.
if you've only worked one pay period, are you supposed to manufacture two more? Of course not.
Yeah. So in that situation, they told me that November first week they could be able to do it, and then so they wanted two pay stubs for October, like in the sense
Okay,
two.
look, I'm going to have to cut short this discussion because we've got a bunch of people waiting. Can
Yeah.
you give me the bottom lines of what you want to know, and maybe I
Yeah.
can.
So the bottom line is my employer filed LCA for the H1 with one pay per month. So can I request him to do two pay per month, even though it's LCA has one pay frequency per month?
Normally, the H1B regulations from the Department of Labor say the H1B salary can be any periodicity.
Okay.
I think it cannot be less than once a month, but
Okay.
it
Yeah.
can be weekly, two weekly,
Mm-hmm.
any number of any periodicity, as long as it is kept consistent all through the H1B period.
Yeah. So even it is filed once per month, can I ask him to do twice per month so that it helps me with the transfer? Like,
I don't see a problem with that.
okay, that would not cause any
Yeah,
issues.
there is no law that says you cannot do it. What I told you is the law that is the periodicity must be consistent and not
Got it.
less than once a month.
Even if the LCA has once a month, that shouldn't be an issue.
I don't think it should be an issue.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's it, Rajiv. Thank you so
Best
much.
of luck. Give me 1 second. Let me just sort people out. Heather, is that you? Heather Riddick?
It is. Good morning or good afternoon.
Hi, my colleague Heather is here. Heather, after I gave you co-host rights, I was not sure who I gave co-host rights. So please hang around. You got this. You can let
I
people in.
do.
Thank you
Do you
very
have a
much.
limit or do you want me to keep doing it until you
No, you
say
keep
so?
doing it. We've got a bunch of people waiting. Please let them in now. You see them or no?
Yep, they're
Okay.
coming.
Thanks, Heather. All right, let me go back to answering questions. I'll just tell you I can eyeball how many questions I can cover in the time I have, and then we'll stop admitting people once we are done with that. Okay, let me go on to Sai Kumar.
Yeah, yeah,
Saiji, go ahead.
yeah.
How can I help you?
Hi, sir. So my current visa and I-94 are expiring in next month. And now I received a H1 extension.
Okay,
Now, in the same timeline, I'm transferring my H1 to another employer.
okay.
So now if I do it now, should I need to travel to get my I-94 updated, or the employer going to take care of that? Because I
No, no.
received 797B form.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you got 797B,
797B,
but you
Consular.
are still in H1B status though.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So when the next employer files for your transfer, they can. What is the reason you got 797B, by the way?
At that point of time, my employer is didn't file my amendment. So then he intentionally processed consular processing. It was intentional.
you may have to go outside USA. Heather, there are people waiting in the waiting room. Heather?
Yep, two, they're on their way in.
Okay. So because there is a violation of status in your background, there's a high likelihood you'll have to go outside for visa stamping.
Visa stamping is there, so till next month.
Yeah. So then what you can do is you can, once you get the approval, if the visa is still valid, you can go outside USA and come back, show the old visa and the new approval with the transferred employer, do it premium processing.
And with the latest I-94 process document.
They'll give you they give you a new I-94. That's a cure for violation of status, exiting and re-entering.
Okay. So now
And
in
it's
this
not
case,
your fault. I don't think you're going to have a problem. And by the way, Sai, they might even give you an I-94 within the United States because once again, it's not your fault. Depends upon the officer you get.
okay. So there might be a chance till I get the visa stamping or till I get the new.
So they might give you an I-94 right now. It will be all the way to your extension. Or they could say, well, here is your approval, go outside and come back. When you come back, the extension would be for, let's say, 3 years. You should get an I-94 for 3 years when you come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Akashji, go ahead.
Hello. I wanted to ask. My situation is that my ought to be wife. We are getting married in November. She filed for her F1 visa, and her F1 visa got rejected in consulate in India. So I plan is to get her on H4 in December, like after the marriage, and then do a F1 change of status. Because she has an admit in two of the colleges in US for F1. So how is feasible is that, or is it a long shot?
Okay, let's take a step back.
Yes.
What was the reason for denial of the F1? Was it 214B?
Yes, 214B.
Okay, yeah. Coming on H4 is fine. She
Yes.
can start school on H4, and then if she wants to convert to F1, she can.
And is there can you just give me a rough timeline on that? Like basically, even if I do premium processing on H4 to F1 change of status.
I would wait a semester, then apply. It's not really required to wait, but I would wait anyway. With this government, you never know.
Okay, so wait a semester and then apply,
Yeah.
and then basically I can.
So come in, get
Okay.
the H4, come in, start school on H4,
Yes.
and then convert to F1.
Okay, convert to F1, and still you have 2 more semesters on F1, so you can get the F1 benefits.
You can get your OPT, yes.
And basically, like just after marriage in November, filing in H4 to December, is there any issues with that or not?
No issue at all.
And because then the percentages for approval is higher in H4, right? H4, right?
I would say it's pretty much 100%.
Oh, thank you. That solves a lot. Thank you, sir.
Yep. And congratulations. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care. Bye. Guys, put your hand down after you're done, please. Harsh Rava, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So I was on H1B and my position was laid off. So I switched to B2. Currently, I'm on pending B2. Next month, my sister and brother-in-law have their tourist visa interview in India.
Okay.
Their purpose is tourism and visiting me. Now I have an employer who is willing to do B2 to H1B. But I do not know the timeline when they are going to do that. So when my sister and brother-in-law visit for the interview, can they say that I'm in the process of changing employers?
Oh, absolutely. They should always tell the truth.
Okay.
No doubt
And
about it. That's not something you even need to think twice about it.
okay. And in that case, should I give them the offer letter or anything
They're not going to
just to
ask all those things. Look, the
B2
government
receipt
can,
or
yeah, the government can ask for anything they want. The visa officer can ask for anything they want, but usually they don't go into the detail of the family members in USA. The B1, B2 is being given on their own strength.
right?
So it's unlikely they will ask for all that. If you want to send any of those things, by all means do that. But
Okay.
they'll probably not ask for it.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Just one more question that I have. This is for me. My past employer had filed my H1B on wage level 2, and now this new employer is planning to do this on wage level 1. Will that be an issue, or is this something that company has to take care of?
So this is a frequently asked question. Let me underscore this. See, level 1 for any job is the level where people are still learning how to do the job. They are just out of school. They don't have too much experience. So level 1 is suspect most times, unless you are just out of school. The fact that a different employer considered you to be level 2 and another employer considers you to be level 1 is not a problem by itself. But the second employer's job should be carefully evaluated to make sure it is indeed a level 1 position. We get approvals for level 1 all the time. That's not the problem. Especially for engineers, it's much easier to get level 1 approval. Software developers also. But certain job categories, it's a little bit more difficult to get level 1 approvals. So that's your situation in a nutshell. Is it really an entry-level job? Your lawyer should help you decide that with the aid of your employer. And the second thing is the leveling correct for that job? If it is, I don't care whether the first job was level 2. All right?
Okay, understood. All right, thank you so much.
Best of luck. Put your hand down, please. Hi, Akshayji. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning, Rajiv ji. I had a question about H1B extension. So
Mhm.
the H1B extension has been filed, but if it is supposed to be expedited or premium processed, is it the employer that has to file for it? Somebody shared that the candidate can pay for the expedited process as well. Could you shed some light on that?
Right. It's another frequently asked question. Can an employee pay for premium processing for the H1B? So many other cases like L1, anybody can pay, nobody cares. But by law and by case law, I can call it case law, regulations as well as case law and policy, the situation is this. Not only is the employer supposed to pay all the fees, the filing fees, they're also required to pay all the expenses and the attorney's fees for H1B. Okay. Who can pay for premium processing? There was a long time when we believed, we as an immigration bar, not as we, the emperor, just most of our lawyers believed that if the premium processing is for the benefit of the employee, not the employer. For example, you say, look, get my case approved. I want to go home, get married, and come back. I want it done quickly. If it is for you only, not for your employer, and it is at your request, you can pay for it. That was the traditional thought. Over the last few months, I have changed my mind. I think it is dangerous, not for the employee, but it's dangerous for the employer to let the employee pay for it. Because the Department of Labor could find that to be objectionable, and they could level sanctions type of monetary problems could be visited upon the employer. It's still not the employee's problem. In my view, the employee should not be harmed, but I think it should be avoided. I prefer that the employer pay for it. Okay?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's not a clear answer because there is no clear enunciation of the policy on this. It just seems to be the way the government is going. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Best of luck. Put your hand down, please. Sanika ji, go ahead.
Hi, this is Sanika. So I'm a F1 student. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine, perfectly.
Yeah, I'm a F1 student doing PhD, and I will expire my visa in May 2026. So I just wanted to ask, can we renew the F1 visa? Because I plan to graduate also before May, so I will be on OPT. So I just wanted to ask, like, can we extend the F1 visa? And second question I had is, if I'm on OPT, can I travel back in India? What would be your advice?
Okay. Are you connected with me on LinkedIn?
Yes.
Okay. Just drop me a message. I'll send you a link to my blog where I
Mhm.
have discussed a few years back when you can travel, what you need to travel, etc., when you are on OPT or pending H1B, etc. So take a look at that. My bigger concern is, first of all, what does it mean to renew your F1? So you don't really renew in some ways, it's just another F1. If you go to India and apply for an F1 visa, it's not really a renewal, it's basically a new visa, right?
Okay.
Can they deny that? And the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have often cited this example. Many years back, I had a young lady like you who was in her PhD. Her coursework was over, only her thesis defense was left. Little bit of research and thesis defense was left. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she asked me, her three brothers before her were my clients. So they said, can you talk to our sister? I said, sure, let me talk to her. And she said, I'm going to go apply for a visa. I said, look, miss, I don't know how I feel about that. And she had a perfectly clean record, no problem at all. She was in one of the Ivy League universities, everything was clean. She got denied. She went to India, applied for a visa. In the 5th year of her PhD, she got denied the visa. Now, this is unusual. They should
Okay.
give, because that's the kind of, that's the time it takes to do a PhD. And they should not have denied her visa, but they did.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, she was able to finish her thesis. Her research was also related to India. So I think she was a geologist, if I remember.
Okay.
She was doing some work on some formations in India. So she was able to finish her thesis from India and ultimately came back on an H1. So if you go and apply for a visa, know that you can be denied.
Okay.
There's
And
always,
if I get denied, then can I re-enter the US or not? Because I will be on OPT, right?
but you still need a
Okay.
visa to enter.
Yeah. The other question I had, that after my PhD, I plan to get married. So, do you feel it's advisable to go back India on OPT, get married, and come back? Because
When is your
both
visa
of us will
expiring?
be in.
When is your
My
visa?
visa is expiring in May 2026.
If you do anything before that, you are okay.
Okay, but okay, cool.
After your visa expires, I would be very reluctant to tell you, oh, it's a breeze, just go get it done. I'm concerned about people applying for a student visa. However, here's another option. If you talk to your school and they say, Sanika, we'll apply for your H1 and bring you right back. Because you can do your thesis, you can even attend courses on H1B.
Okay, cool.
They can
Okay,
bring you
but
back, you can
okay.
do your job. And if it's a job in the university, it's not subject to a quota. If you have that kind of security behind you, go for it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Most likely I'll go in an industry, so it might be dicey whether I'll get H1B.
That is a problematic area. Unless you qualify for an O1A.
Yeah, but just in a first year, because I'll graduate also in April, and then getting qualified O1 just immediately after joining might be a little tricky.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I would
thank you.
avoid the F1 visa situation if I were you. Okay.
Okay, cool. So I'll just message you to get your understanding on those blog about traveling into
Yeah.
India, Latin America.
Just send me a message on LinkedIn. I'll send
Okay,
you the link to my blog. Okay.
thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am. Bye-bye. Put your hand down, please. Wasim ji, go ahead.
Good morning, Rajiv sir.
Good morning, sir.
I have a question. I'm on F1 OPT, and this question is regarding e-verification. And my EAD start date was April 7th, 4/7/2025, and end day is February 21, 2026. I got my e-verification completed like yesterday.
Were you
Yes,
sending messages on LinkedIn?
yes.
Oh, I remember talking to you. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
And so
Yeah, your concern was they e-verified me late, right? That's what
yes,
you were asking me.
yeah. Will
I
this affect my OPT extension?
I don't think so. Okay, look, it is a violation if once the, and I don't remember the details in e-verify process also, but it is a violation if you are e-verified employer and you don't verify new hires. Okay.
Hmm.
Are you supposed to e-verify all the existing hires? Look at the frequently asked questions on the e-verify website. Okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't think you are required to. And even if they did not, that's not your fault. As
Yeah.
long as you show up in their payroll on e-verify portal now, you should be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. They
Best of
recently
luck.
got E-Verify. It's a very old company, like it's
Yeah.
been for 10 years, but
Yeah.
they have never processed visa for anybody. So
Okay.
they only got E-Verified last month, and
Okay.
then they added my name.
Okay. I think we are good. No problem
Okay.
at all.
Thank
All
you.
right. Best
Thank
of
you.
luck. Yeah, Heather, you can leave in about 4 minutes, okay? Because we have enough people here, but I don't want to close the door too early. We should wait at least 5 minutes, which is our normal time is 12:30. I started half an hour early. So we
You want
can,
me to keep admitting or stop?
yeah, please keep admitting people until 12:35. After that, you can leave. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Ketanji, go ahead.
Hello, thank you so much for hosting this. So I have a little complicated situation. I can share the scenario. So I was impacted in a layoff few months back. I was working on H1B, and then after interviewing, I found a job with an employer A, who was working on filing for change of employer H1B petition. But due to a family emergency, I had to go to India to visit my family. And then as I had my daughter here in US, I came back on H4B. Sorry, I came back on H4. And meanwhile, I got another offer for employer from employer B, who I'm planning to join. Employer B is working on filing change of status, which is
But
H4
one
to
second,
H1B.
Ketanji, are
Yeah.
you now in India or are you back in US?
Now I'm back in US.
And you are on H1B?
No, I came back on H4 now.
Oh, you came on H4. I thought your wife came on H4. Okay. So you came on H4, your wife is on H1B, and somebody
Yes.
is filing for your change of status. You had been on H1B for at least a year or two before, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're fine. All right. Next.
So my question was, like now the employer B is filing for change of status from H4 to H1B, while there is an employer A who was working on filing in change of employer status. Will my change of status basically from H4 to H1B be impacted due to another employer's H1B filing?
It's a little confusing, the situation, because by the time your H4, H1 gets approved, the second H1, was it filed as an H1 to H1 or H4 to H1? I think it's manageable, but it is confusing. Ultimately, what is the worst case scenario? They can say, go get an H1 visa stamp and come back. No big deal. So my suggestion would be don't lose sleep over it. It'll work out. Just make sure you tell your second lawyer that you already have an H1B transfer pending. That should be
Okay.
discussed with your lawyer. Never hide things from your lawyers. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All the best,
Thank you.
Ketanji. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Heather, in one more minute, we can stop admitting people. We have enough people, actually.
I actually think that there's one individual who's having a hard time trying to get in. I don't know if you want to message him separately, but I tried letting him in like 5 times and it seems like it's a repeat individual.
Mm.
He
I
just
don't
tried
have-
again if you want to try as the host. I don't know how you want to
No, it's
handle.
the same, Heather. I don't have any special magic. You and I have the same magic.
Okay.
So I think we are okay, Heather. We can't handle any more people. I wish we could. Next Thursday we'll be back again. You go do your thing, Heather. We are okay. I can't let any more people, unfortunately. I think Suman was doing something last time. Heather, are you still here?
Yes.
Suman was doing something last time. She was, I think she was messaging people in the waiting room that, guys, we have enough people today, but we can meet next Thursday again, and you can watch the live stream as well as the recording on YouTube. Do you want me to give you
I see that maybe as an option, actually.
Yeah.
Yep, I do see that.
So can you stay for maybe another 15, 20 minutes?
Mhm.
All right, thank you. But don't admit any more people.
Okay.
Akshayji, go ahead, please.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. Thank
Can't
you.
hear you, Akshayji. My ears are gone. I'm an old man.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me now?
I can, yes.
Sure. Thank you so much. Sir, I have a question. I was recently laid off, I mean, a while ago, honestly, but I have like a total of 14 months of H1B remaining out of my 6 years.
Okay.
So I did interview for a couple companies, which these were like big companies like So even they said that I went to the last round and all that, but they said that since I don't have 2.5 years of H1B remaining, they cannot hire me due to their policy. I don't have the approved I-140 yet, because when I was laid off recently, my perm was filed, but that company revoked it. So my question was like, will I find similar situation with any company in the US now, since
Yeah. See, the problem is you need about, I would say, about a year and 8-9 months to
Okay.
be safe.
Okay.
If your time remaining is about a year, 8-9 months, you are okay. But if it is less than that, there could be a gap in your work authorization. If there is an employer who can let you work from your home country, I'm assuming that's India,
Correct.
in that gap, whether it's 3, 4, 5, or 6 months, and then you can come back again on H1B extension, that would be perfect. Many of the companies who are multinationals can probably do it for you.
Okay.
And even if they send you to a third country, let's say they sent you to UK, if they can get you work authorization in UK, you can spend those 3, 4, 5 months in UK or whatever third country you're in, and then come back on H1B when you're ready. Okay.
Understood.
So
Okay.
you're going to have to get lucky in terms of finding the right employer, but that's the problem you're going to have unless you get an NIW or an EB1A approved.
Yeah. I mean, I already tried that. It's it's been tough with this new administration. So,
Yeah.
but okay. I think that's and one other question. Like,
Mhm.
I was thinking of like there's one more scenario where I can transfer from like H1B to maybe F1, go to like day one CPD and all that. What do you think, like with this recent administration and the recent things, is that viable?
Okay. So it's a frequently asked question. Is curricular practical training still viable?
Correct.
And the answer is yes. The government doesn't like it. But look, we are not in this world to be liked.
Correct.
As long as we are following the law, doing everything by the book, I would say, why are we getting CPT? Because I want work authorization. But that should not be the only reason, at least in my mind. I would say few things I would want to do if I go for curricular practical training.
Sure.
In addition to obeying whatever the rules are, the 3 rules, it's a graduate degree. If it's a day one CPT, graduate degree, integrated program, and there's an agreement between the employer and the university. So those 3 things being aside, I think it's important that you go into a degree program that actually helps your career.
Got it.
Okay. So if you're ever asked a question, you should be truthfully able to answer, yes, I want work authorization, but this helps me in my career goals.
Okay. Understood. Makes sense.
Best of luck.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sandeep ji, go ahead.
Hi, Rajiv. Thank you for the call. So my situation is I got my H1B lottery selected this year, and in my change of status comes in October 1st from STEM OPT to H1. And amid this, so my employer actually laid off and gave me the last working day as October 1st, which is my change of status day, after speaking to the immigration team within my company. So I want to understand, like, is it actually feasible for me to initiate a transfer after ending my employment on October 1st?
Yeah, I think so. And I also think that you'll have 60-day grace period after October 1st to find another employer.
Okay. So is it also okay that I just have like a 1 day on my pay period on my H1? And
I would argue yes, because I have looked at some of the policy statements and rulings from the government. The emphasis seems to be, and this is another frequently asked question we are talking about,
Yeah.
at what point do I become safe when I do lottery H1B activation? And I think the emphasis the government had so far that I've seen is you must be admitted on H1B. What does admitted mean? What does it mean? If you're outside the US, you actually got a visa stamp and you entered the US, that's admission.
Yeah.
If you're inside the US, change of status is admission.
Got it.
Go from F1 to H1B, which you do on October 1st. So if our focus is admission, how does it matter if I'm admitted for 1 day or one year? It's the same thing.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
I think you'll be reasonably safe. That would be my guess.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Rajiv. Thank you.
Best of luck, Ji. Kushagra Ji, go ahead. Kushagra.
Hi, Ji. Good afternoon.
Good
I just
afternoon.
want to ask that I moved to my client like as a full-time employee. So my consultancy, I have addressed this issue to you before. They were not paying me, and I had stress of like more than 60 days without payroll. So I like pressurized them. So they ran a payroll of 15 days for the last month, and just for 15 days. So I think on record I'm safe, but they haven't
Oh,
paid me, and
no.
they told me that it will be a paper check, but they said that we haven't
No,
forwarded the check to your address. So
no,
I
no.
know you,
That's fraud. That's
yeah,
fraud.
yeah,
Don't be a part of fraud.
yeah.
Okay.
So I know you told me that I can file a complaint.
Yeah.
So will I be also questioned, or like is their fault totally?
It's okay for you to be questioned. You've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You are available to work.
I was actually submitting the timesheet to them
You were submitting
regularly.
timesheets. Yours is a classic case of an employee being exploited.
Yeah.
So I don't see any problem. You have a good defense for a change of status saying I was available. And Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division will get your money back for you from the employer.
Okay. And they did this once in November as well, like last year.
Yeah, just make sure you tell the Department of Labor all that.
Okay. Okay. And
Right?
sir, if they agree to pay me, can they pay me in US, because I would be in different, like two different payrolls on H1B?
I think it's time to file a complaint. If they are going to pay you, they
Mm-hmm.
should also give you a letter explaining what happened.
Okay.
I don't want you to be complicit in any kind of conspiracy to violate the laws of the United States of America.
Okay. Okay, sir. I'll file a complaint then.
All the best, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Rohit ji, go ahead. Rohit.
Hello, hello, Rajesh. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, my concern is I have been recently been laid off from the employer.
Mhm.
So, I am currently on my STEM OPT, but in this financial year, my H1B got picked and my I-129 got approved.
Mhm.
But later on, like I recently, if my employer is going willing, like if they are going to willing me to retain me, like or rehire me in the upcoming weeks,
Mhm.
is my I want to as my I-129 got approved, will be eligible for H1B status or?
So the employer, hold on one second, let me move my seat. The employer who hired you, for whom you were working on OPT, is the same employer who applied for your H1B?
Yes, yes,
Okay. And then they laid you off,
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Okay. And if they hire you back on October 1st, is that going to be okay? That is your question, right?
I know. Yeah. If they are going to hire me in next couple of weeks, is my H1B still valid or
Yes.
am I still
Yes.
okay?
Because even if you had a gap in your employment,
Mhm.
the fact that your H1B kicks in only on October 1st protects you.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
your OPT, you have not exhausted the 90 days or 150 days, depending upon which OPT you're on. You
I am
still
on
have
STEM
time
OPT.
on it.
Yeah, I am on STEM OPT. I still have 100 days left.
So you have no problem. I don't see any issue. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the best, sir.
Thank you, Ji.
You're
Thanks for your
welcome.
time.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Pratiksha ji, go ahead. Rohit ji, put your hand down. Pratiksha ji, go ahead.
Hello, Rajiv ji.
Hello, ma'am.
So I have two questions. I'll
Yeah.
I'll tailor the situation. So I'm on H1B right now. My max out date is September 2028. So I still have a time. My employer has filed the PWR recently. So I was wondering if I can switch right now. What's the right time to switch?
Well, I would say when you have a couple of years left on your H1B
Mm-hmm.
and the new employer is ready to start your green card process as soon as you join,
Mm-hmm.
you're okay to move. But if they say, well, you have to work for us 1 year before you don't have time for that luxury.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. And another question was, my fiance is in Ireland. Initially, he was supposed to come on L1, but the employer is not sponsoring.
Okay.
So we were just thinking, what are the workarounds that he come here? I know H4 is option, but my I-140 is still not done yet.
Well,
And
he can get an H4 anytime. It's just that for EAD, you have to have
wait.
I-140.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure, people like us who have worked for a very long time, they become a pain in the behind when they don't work. So I can understand why you would want him to get an EAD before he enters. But really, there is no other option unless he has an extraordinary resume, something that we can see in the resume, like an O1 or something similar.
Mm-hmm.
He's a citizen of India, or he's a citizen of Ireland.
He's Irish citizen. He recently got his
He
citizenship.
may have an option. Can he invest $150,000? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yes, tell him to look into a treaty investor visa, E2 visa.
E2 visa. Okay.
It's a great visa, Pratiksha. It's one of my favorite visa.
Okay.
Why? Because number one, it doesn't require $500,000 million, none of that nonsense.
Okay.
Number two, you get work authorization. I think it's on a 3-yearly basis. I always forget it's 2 or 3. It's a 3-yearly basis forever. There's no end on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And his spouse automatically gets work authorization.
Okay.
Okay. So I love E2 visas, and tell him to look also into E1, which is treaty trader visa. Okay.
Okay. E1 and O1 are
No,
similar?
E1 and E2. E as in elephant.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Arti, go ahead, please. Pratiksha ji, put your hand down. Arti, do you even know you have your name as Arti? Hello, Arti. Okay. Rahul ji,
Hi, Rajiv ji. Thank you so much for hosting this.
first of all, who is that beautiful looking dog?
It's not my dog. It's a therapy dog that I'm really scared of dogs, but yeah, it was a
I
therapy.
I used to be too, until one dog decided one day that I'm going to be your friend whether you like me or not.
So this is my showing my courage and bravery.
He's a beautiful dog, no question about it. Tell me, how can I help you?
Awesome. So my H1B visa is expiring on 30th of September, and I am on my 60-day grace period right now, and that grace period will end on October 8th. And this is my first H1B, and my I-797 expires in June 2026.
Okay.
So I'm like trying to figure out, I'm interviewing already, so I might be able to get a job with before September 30 and move to the new employer. But if that does not happen, what are my options? Should I move to B2? My wife is on
Yeah,
F1.
another frequently asked question, which I talk about almost every call. So we've been talking about this for the last several weeks. Every call we talk about this. And the answer is, let me talk about the difficulties, and let me talk about the possibilities, and let me talk about my recommendation. Okay.
Thank you.
Difficulty, you could get a notice to appear,
Mhm.
which means immigration proceedings in immigration court for deportation started against you.
Okay.
Number two, your B2 can always be denied. Government can do that, but the time the B2 was pending is not considered to be illegal. So if the B2 gets denied 5 months later, doesn't mean you accrued unlawful presence for 5 months.
Okay.
You were legal in the US. Okay.
Mhm.
Number three, I saw 1 or 2 rulings from the USCIS. In my view, they are unfortunate, if not ill-considered, where they said, well, on B2, you can't really look for a job.
Okay.
Okay. These are the difficulties that we have.
Mhm.
What are the ways around it? First of all, NTAs are not coming anymore in every case. They're coming in some cases.
Okay.
I had a case where one of our clients, we got the B2 approved, and then the poor girl, she got an NTA after the B2 was approved. So she was very frightened, went to immigration court. This was this Monday, last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
She went to immigration court. It got resolved. Okay. So most of these NTAs are, first of all, not coming. If they are coming, they're getting resolved relatively easily. Okay.
Okay.
If you have another option, you have F2, H4, L2,
I have F2,
any other
yeah.
option. Okay, take it. That is better for you.
Okay.
But hold on.
Yeah.
We are still filing B2s.
Mm-hmm.
And in every B2 application, I'm telling them I'm going to look for a job. Because that's the truth.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot lie to the government. I won't have my clients lie to the government. And so far, we're getting all approvals.
That's reassuring.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was asking is, since my visa is expiring on 30th of September, if I join a new employer after that date, will I get a renewal for the second H1B?
Okay, so first of all, visa is irrelevant when you are inside the United States.
Okay.
We don't care what your visa stamping says and when it's expiring. We don't really care about that. Okay. What we care about is your I-94 or your 60-day grace period.
Okay.
All right. What else?
No, so what I'm trying to ask is H1B renewal, the next H1B that starts from 1st of October, right? Will I be able to extend my H1B again if I don't find a job in like after 60 days as well?
So how would you extend without an employer? Because you need an employer, right?
Right. So 8th of October, my 60 days ends. I move to F2, but my visa has expired. So will I be able to extend my
Visa expiration, forget about that. That's irrelevant. So let's say you move to F2 and then 2 months later you get a job. Can you convert back to H1B? Sure.
Yes.
What if your visa has expired? So what?
Oh, got it. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah,
You're
that's what.
welcome. Okay, RT is having some difficulty unmuting himself. Why? Let's try this. Ask to unmute, RT. There you go. RT? Now I can't hear you. Hello, RT?
Yes.
Okay, you're on. Go ahead, sir.
This is Rajini. I have filed a DOL
Hello?
the New Jersey department.
I can't hear you.
I have filed the DOL.
Uh-huh.
I have filed the DOL with the New Jersey department for my wage. And it's been like 20 days after filing. How many days, how much time it will take for the follow-up?
Are you doing a prevailing wage for your green card?
For my employer, I didn't get any pay from my employer for the past 5
Okay.
months.
So you filed a complaint with the Wage and Hour Division.
Yes, I have filed that one in the New Jersey Wage and Division.
No, you need to file it with the Federal Department of Labor.
Oh, Federal Department.
Were
Can I
you
have?
on H1B? Were you on H1B?
Yes.
Or you need to contact so write this down.
Okay.
LCA complaint. You can Google this. LCA
complaint. Okay.
WHD, which is Wage and Hour Division. WHD.
Okay.
DOL, Department of Labor.
Okay.
Do that and it'll pull up a form called WH4 for you, which you have to file. Or you can just call them up. There's a 1-800 number. Call them up. They're very nice. They'll help you. Okay.
Okay. What is that form name? WH4.
I think it's called WH4.
Okay. 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 Thank you, sir.
All the best. All right, sir. Good luck. Artie, put your hand down. Rose, go ahead, please, Rose. Hello, Rose. Let me see if I can ask you to unmute. Rose. Okay. Mahimaji, what is your Mahima, man?
Mahima. So, hi sir, I got my H1B and the change of status would start in October. I was wondering if I can travel back to Dubai where my family is. So I'm an Indian citizen. So as a third country national stamping in Dubai, would that be possible? And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
there is no rule of happening in the country of citizenship, right?
No,
For
there
this
is no such rule so far. The only time I worry is because if the country that you go to is very busy, they can put up a notice saying we are not currently taking TCNs, third country nationals. But you can check with Dubai before you go. You can go to any country for your visa stamping.
So if I get an interview slot, then it should be pretty much good, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And another question I had is, will this new wage-based rule affect the existing
No,
H1B approval,
no,
like when
no,
we get it
no.
stamped?
That's the reason. In the beginning, I had a young man who was willing to drop his H1B selection for some reasons. And I discouraged him. I said, look, I don't know what the next lottery cycle is going to look like. So since you are in this lottery already, go ahead and grab it. Don't take a chance with this. Okay.
Okay. And is there any travel recommendation? Like, is it okay to go get it stamped, visit
Absolutely.
family,
I
or
don't
is
see
it?
why not. You can talk with your Maimaji. I don't know your case, but speaking from a level ground, um, I would say there's no problem in traveling back on an H1B unless the job is shady. If the company, are you going to work in-house or at a staffing company?
In-house.
Yeah, in-house jobs are much easier to process, prone to much fewer questions. So I wouldn't worry about it. Look straightforward, but I do want you to talk to your lawyers before you go.
Okay. And for the DS-160, is there any requirement of making the social media public for an H-1B application?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so
All the
much.
best.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Rose.
Hi, Rajiv sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, I had a question about
Did
the.
you leave your seat to go get a cup of coffee?
Oh, no, no.
Okay.
I was trying to mute. My mouse was stuck.
Got it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were just gone from your seat. All right, go ahead.
No. So I just wanted to know, I know there's a lot of changes with H1B regulations coming up. I'm currently on my final year of STEM OPT. I wanted to know if the cap-exempt H1B would be affected in any way, like would they become a part of the lottery as well, or do we see any changes coming up with
That's a
cap-exempt?
very interesting question. I don't know what they plan to do because we haven't seen the regulations yet. Okay. So the way this would work is once the regulations are okayed by the relevant authorities, they will be put in something called notice and comment period. So we see the draft regulations, then we have 30, 45, 60 days to comment on those regulations. Then the government might take a few months to go through all the comments and answer the groups of comments based upon the topic. Only then the regulation gets finalized. Right now, we haven't even seen the draft regulations.
Okay.
All the best.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Please put your hand down. Hi, Preetam ji.
Hi, Rajiv ji. So I had the same question regarding the cap exempt employers going through. So I have my STEM OPT like expiring next year in July. So I was just wondering like when should I push my employer? He's also cap exempt. So when I should push my employer to process if there is some changes that we can see
When is it
coming in the new
expiring?
policy.
Preetam ji, when
In
is your
July 24th of next year, 26.
26? So you can apply no earlier than about February, 6 months ahead of time.
Okay.
If you do any earlier than that, they might deny the extension. Okay.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
yeah, just wait and watch. Let's see how it plays out. All right.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Yeah, guys, I just want to make one thing clear. The reason we have to stop admitting people is I want to cover everyone who's here. So what I want to do is everybody who's raised their hand, I want to be able to answer their question. Even if it takes me a half hour extra, I don't mind. Okay. Sam, go ahead, please. Sam, I am. Let's see if this works. Sam. Okay.
Hello. Hi,
Oh, there you
Rajiv.
go. Yes, Sam.
So I have a quick question. So I was laid off, then I moved to B2, and then I came back to India.
Mhm.
I did a consular processing.
Mhm.
Now I'm planning to enter US. Do we see any issue in the port of entry,
When you
specifically
said
SF?
consular processing, you did consular processing of a new H1B?
Yeah.
You should have no problem. No, I don't see any problem with the port of entry.
Okay.
All right. All the best.
And
Yep.
yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and also I applied for an extension of B2, and then I came back to India. So I was in status, authorized stay rather, but I withdraw. In fact, you did all my application.
I did
We
all
chatted,
your application. You're not going to yell at me, are you?
and we chatted like 2 weeks back also, if you remember.
Okay. I don't remember, but that's all right.
Anyways, so you don't see any problem in port of entry, I believe.
Naji, I don't see any problem.
Okay. Thanks, Rajiv.
Of course. Best of luck.
Thank you, Rajiv.
You're welcome. And Sam, you have my email address, right?
Yeah, I've been pestering Anna, so I was a little hesitant.
No. You can just email me directly.
Sure.
If there's a
Thank you.
problem, because, I think Anna, Suman, Heather, all the people who are doing the work, actually doing the work, are the busiest. And I probably have more time than almost everybody else in the firm.
Perfect.
So you
Also,
can
Rajiv,
always.
one more question. I did get a 221G for asking for a new passport. They found that my passport was damaged, which I gave it to them.
Oh,
In the
I sort of remember that. Okay.
Yeah. So during the interview, the officer told me that I will approve your application as soon as I get the passport, which I've sent. So I'm expecting that the officer would approve in the next 1 week. Do you
Okay.
see any problem there?
I don't. Email me if there's a problem, okay?
Sure. All right. Thanks,
All the
Rajiv.
best. Bye. Harshitaji, go ahead.
Hello, thank you so much for hosting this. I have this question. I had my H1B picked up in this year's lottery, but I got terminated. So I think the question is, I happen to lose my H1B, but do you think is there any way we can still get it?
Is there a way you can save your H1B? I think you can save your H1B only if they don't revoke it before October 1st.
Okay, I asked my lawyer. She said the company told her to withdraw it. So that means it gets revoked, right?
I don't think we can save it.
Um,
Go ahead.
Okay. Just next question about the same H1B exempt thing, right? My STEM OPT unemployment days are ending 20 September. So that means I have to return back to India. But my visa is still valid till July 2026, right? So is there any way we can start looking for employers in sitting in India for the exempt one, like the H1B exempt one?
Of course.
And if they happen to give me the H1B exempt one, can I come back?
Using the same visa? Sure. If the
Because
visa is still valid,
yeah.
you can use it to come back.
It's valid till 2026, but my unemployment days will end in 20. So I can go India and can still look for H1B exempt jobs. And if I happen to get, I can come back, right?
That is correct.
Oh, thank you so much. That
You're
was my
welcome.
question.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Put your hand down, please. Purandiaji, go ahead.
Thank you for hosting. I have a couple questions regarding a peculiar case. So, I lost my job on H1B cap exempt, and I transitioned to B2, and I'm awaiting change of status approval.
Okay.
I am expecting a job offer from a cap subject company. So technically, the H1B cannot be transferred. So
Okay.
I wanted to know the best way forward and basically the safest way that incorporates travel, future renewals, and future I-140 and all of that. So
Well,
I have
hold
a
on.
few options.
Yeah, let me backtrack a little bit.
Mhm.
You were on H1B,
Cap exempt, yes,
cap exempt. You got laid off.
correct.
You have 60-day grace period.
No, close to the end of the 60-day grace period, I switched to B2 change of status.
Switch to B2. Okay. Now
Yeah.
you want to go back to H1B?
Yes.
Okay. And you are concerned about the safest option.
Yes.
They are all safe. If you get, you've never gone through the lottery, right?
No, I have never. So
Yeah. So if you
options
get
are like day one CPT and concurrent and so
you
on.
get another job,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a cap-exempt job, then
Mm-hmm.
it's as safe as anything else.
No, it's a cap subject job, the offer I'm expecting.
So, but you have to
So,
go through the lottery then. No? How do you take a cap subject job if you have not gone through the lottery before?
okay, so I'm thinking of doing a day one CPT,
Mhm.
or another option is there's a fellowship program that can give me cap exempt H1B for part time, and I can work with the cap subject as concurrent.
Excellent. You've done your homework.
So
Exactly.
yeah, these and then there's another third option that's high risk, high reward. Another lawyer suggested that it's possible that sometimes USCIS approves cap exempt to cap subject transfer if they overlook some things.
Okay.
Wanted to.
This lawyer, never call him again. Promise me you will never call this lawyer again.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Two reasons. One, I consider that to be extremely sleazy.
Mm-hmm.
If not unethical, it is highly inappropriate. I think it's unethical to suggest that we can sneak by the government. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number two, that's not going to happen.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay. So please, 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 please don't call this lawyer ever again. And if he's your friend, stop talking to him.
Done. All right. So going back to the two options that I mentioned, the day one CPT and the concurrent, which is the safest option given my
Concurrent.
condition? And yeah,
Concurrent.
that's safer. Okay.
No question about it.
Okay. Why is that? Why would you say?
Because CPT is still F1. H1 is a lot more solid visa. I just like H1 a lot better. I think it's a better visa if you want to travel.
Okay. And given that the B2 change of status has not been approved right now, is that going to cause any
Yeah.
friction?
If the change of status is not approved, government will not adjudicate your I-94 within the US. They'll approve the H1 and they'll say, go get a visa and come back.
So before starting to work, I'll have to go back to
Which
a
is not a
different
big
country.
deal. You can go to any of the neighboring countries if you have Canadian visa, Canada, no visa, Mexico, Bahamas, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, any of the neighboring countries.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, and even if I start working on the cap exempt and then transfer to the work on the concurrent. Got it.
Yeah.
Would I have to travel twice for concurrent?
No.
Okay, just for the first
Same
time.
visa is good for all jobs.
Okay, okay, got it. And in case the
We're gonna
concurrent,
have to wrap it up, so make it really quick. Last
yeah,
question.
sorry, I appreciate it. So in case the concurrent becomes tricky, would you still recommend going to day one CPT, or would you just not recommend that at all?
I just talked about it this morning. Wait for the recording. You may not have been here. In my view, CPT is still an option, but just
Okay.
listen to the recording, okay?
Sure thing. I appreciate you taking the time. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Bhavi ji, go ahead, Bhavi.
Good morning, Rajiv. My OPT is ending September 1st, and my potential CPT work authorization begins November 1st. Doing this for work authorization. So, can I travel to India between September 1 and November 1, assuming I will have an updated CPT I-20? Will I face issues during transit between OPT and the beginning of CPT?
Do you have an F1 visa?
I have my F1 visa till 2027.
I think it will be a good idea to at least attend one semester before you go.
Okay, got it.
Because I feel that it's a little bit more dangerous when you are in between courses.
Okay, sounds good. I had a follow-up question. So my previous employer who promised to file my H1B did not file it in this round and also terminated my employment agreement in Jan 25.
Okay.
Will this come under discrimination?
You want to talk with the litigator, not with me. I have
Okay.
stopped litigating cases for a while now. There's not enough time. My problem is I suffer from not enough hours in the day. So that's one of the issues. So you need to talk to a litigator. Talk with somebody in the state where the employer or the job was,
Okay.
so that they can assess both federal causes of action and state causes of action.
Okay. Sounds good.
Best of
My
luck.
last question, sorry. Can anyone renew B1, B2 from US while being in US while not traveling? Is that possible?
Status, yes. Visa, no.
Okay.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ashish ji, go ahead. Ashish.
Um, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for this forum and doing this. I have two brief questions, and they are sort of interconnected. So personally, I was on a STEM OPT. I did not get my H1B in the last attempt. So in July of 2025, this year, I started my CPT as a contingency planning option with my employer. Now, the question arises is travel. And I know that you've commented on it in the past too, but specifically in my case, my university recommends to travel within 2 semesters. My F1 student visa does not expire until July of 2026 next year.
Okay.
So just to kind of like see if there's any development or okay.
No. Nothing new. This has been my experience so far, that people who go for visa stamping while they're on CPT have a difficult time getting a visa. People who travel before starting CPT also can have a difficult time. But people who are already attending classes on CPT have a visa stamping. So far, I've not heard anything majorly problematic. But this is purely anecdotal. This is purely my own experience. I don't have all the empirical data.
Sounds good, sir. Does the port of entry matter at all?
I think it does. I think if the port of entry, there is a certain culture in ports of entry. Some tend to be tougher than others.
In terms of like proximity to the school?
I think that makes the most sense actually, unless you have a reason. So sometimes your school is in Boston, but your brother lives in California, and you had a few weeks to kill before you started school. So you decided to give your brother the pleasure of your company. That I think is okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And then lastly, I have been in a relationship with a US citizen for the past 3 years, and I have decided to keep that relationship separate from my immigration. However, we are sort of looking to take the next step. Um, Given my F1 visa is expiring in 2026, July of next year, and we are doing all these planning, just logistically, like what timeline would you suggest into like starting the process, knowing the full process and like the horizon of the process to make sure that logistically we like stick to the right timelines?
I would say start as early as you can. There's no point in waiting if you are already committed. And the fact that you are getting a green card through a relationship, this is personal advice. It does have nothing to do with the law. As long as it's a genuine relationship, how does it matter? I mean, it's not like, I don't know, you are asking somebody to put themselves out there for you. It's just that's something people do for each other. What's the big deal?
Yeah, and then if it was, let's say in the next 30 days, and I wanted to schedule a travel in November while being in a CPT program, does the initiation of the marriage process help with the traveling at all, or it does not?
Well, if you asked my suggestion and you were to follow it, I would say, look, get married, apply for your paperwork. A part of your paperwork is your advanced parole, which can take about a year to come through. But once advanced parole comes, travel becomes so much more peaceful.
Rajiv ji, again, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. Best of luck and congratulations. Ravi ji, go ahead. Ravi? think sometimes when I ask people to unmute, that works. Ravi, try. I don't know why you can't unmute yourself. Manish ji, go ahead. Manish. Manish, you are unmuted, but I can't hear you. Take your headphones off, Manish. Okay. Yeah, Manish.
Yeah, Rajesh sir, am I audible now?
Yeah, you are. But you're wearing headphones?
Yes.
Okay. That was my guess. Go ahead, sir. How can I help you?
Yeah, sir. My question is like short. Basically, on L1 visa, have a I-140 approved under EB1C with priority date in March 2023. Hence my priority date is not current.
Is that EB2 you said or EB1?
EB1C.
EB1C. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah. So my I-485 was not filed since priority date is not current these days, 2023. So just wanted to understand, is there any benefit at all on exploring an EB1A or B?
Not even a little bit, except that your lawyer will love you because you get to spend more money.
Okay.
Now, I'll give you one thing though. If your job is iffy, you should create a backup option.
Okay.
Okay. But if you work for, a company that is solid, I see no point in filing a second case.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
All the best, sir. Arun, go ahead, please. Arunji.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So my question is like currently I'm on H1B with my I-140 approved. So due to personal issues, we are planning to go back to India with family. And my question is, after moving to India, I find a new employer. And is it possible in the future to use this approved I-140 to get back to US in my H1B?
Your I-140 is currently approved, right?
Yes. So I'm using it to extend my H1B.
Okay. Will you tell me how long it has been approved? Like, has it been more than 180 days?
Yeah, it's for almost 4 years.
Okay. So two things that are going for you are these. Number one, that priority date is yours forever unless Trump changes the laws, this government changes the laws. For the last 35 years of my practice, that has been the law. Well, that's actually not true. But the priority date, since January 17th, 2017, there is no doubt the priority date is yours to keep whenever you want to use it for another green card. Number two, there is also no doubt that you can keep getting H1B extensions based upon this I-140. So even if you went to India for 3-4 years, you wanted to come back, you could use this I-140 to get an H1B extension without having to go through the lottery again.
Okay.
All right.
With different employers, like.
Sure, any employer you want. And this is true even if your employer now revokes the I-140.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
All the best, sir. Devakarji, go ahead.
Hello, Rajivji. I have a question related to, I spoke about this last week also. So my minor child is given with a NOID because of we applied for change of status once he was out of status.
And
We were
remember, I
planning.
told you I'm not that worried.
Yes.
Children under
Yeah,
18 don't have any permanent damage from
Yeah. Now, I really do not want, I want to take him out to get a stamping. However, the attorneys who filed for change of status under non-proton are saying, oh, it's a risk, let's respond to it and all that. I have a call with them at 11 o'clock, but I just
But
wanted to.
did you get an NTA, you said?
No NTA. It just
NOID,
NOID.
notice of intent to deny. Oh, I won't even bother. I would just go get a visa stamp and come back.
Okay, now the second question is, I'm on O1 and I switched from F1. Am I eligible to take my kid with me to Canada or Mexico to get a stamping, or is better to go to India?
Now you can go to any country as long, well, hold on one second. Let me think about it. Yeah, you can go to any country. There's a section of law called 222G as in girl. Okay.
Okay.
222G. Yeah, 221 and 222. Yeah, 222G
Okay.
But that has no application here. You can go ahead and try for visa stamping from any country.
Okay.
As long as that country either doesn't require a visa to enter, like Mexico, or that country, your child already has a visa for that country, like Canada.
Okay. No, we don't have, but we are planning to apply. Our only
That's going
concern
to take a
was
month.
because
You know that, right?
okay. Yes, I do know. I'm just planning like, okay. And another question is that I have EB2 just applied for I-140. It's not approved yet, but O1's kind of like dual intent, but sometimes a single intent. Does it have any
No,
impact?
Oman is dual intent. At least the consulates recognize that. State Department has said that very clearly.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Best of luck. Manojji, did we already talk? Manoj?
No, Rajaji.
Okay, go ahead.
So again, this is an frequently asked questions. I was on F1 OPT and I got picked in H1B this year and it was approved and got laid off a couple of days ago. So I talked with my immigration attorney and what he told me is on in October 1st, in the worst case, if I don't have a job, so since I have never worked on H1B, I might not, USCIS might not provide the 60 days of unemployment days, and I might have to leave the country immediately. So is that the case? I mean, given that
Okay, hang on. Let me take a step back and understand your situation completely. So you have an H1B approval effective October 1st. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. You are in the US right now.
Yes.
You got a change of status, but it's going to get triggered only on October 1st, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you have never joined the employer, but the employer has not revoked your H1B yet, right?
Yes.
They are not going to revoke before October 1st, are they?
No, they're not going to revoke.
Okay. This is my understanding, or I would say my interpretation of the law. I think if the H1B is not revoked before October 1st, I think you have 60-day grace period beginning October 1st because you would get change of status.
Okay.
And change of status is equal to admission. And USCIS seems to have been focused on admission rather than the actual joining. As long as you were willing to join, ready to join, for some reason you were not able to join. At least I would argue that H1B is still valid. You get your 60-day grace period. Okay.
Okay. And after in that 60 days of unemployment, I can find a new employer and then apply for a H1B transfer.
Yes, sir.
I mean, will there be any RFEs or anything like that?
RFEs don't scare us. RFEs are a part of life. The question is, do I have a legally defensible position? And I would say yes, I think so.
Okay. And since I don't have that many days, I mean, before October 1st, I'm thinking of focusing on getting a contract jobs in staffing and consulting firms. Is it safe to get those?
Well, see, consulting companies come in all flavors. If they are honest, doing everything by the book, I don't see any problem. But if they are willing to cut corners, don't go with companies like that.
Okay, got it. And in the worst case, if I don't find a job after my change of status after 60 days in H1B, so can I change to B1, B2, or go back to
That I
India?
won't recommend. I'll tell you why. Let's take the worst case scenario. Government says you don't get 60 days. You've been out of status, unlawfully present since October 1st.
Okay.
If you have accumulated 180 days after October 1st, which is what, about June? No, it's not June. So November, December, January, February, March, April. So by about May, I would say. If you have not found something within 180 days, leave the US. Don't take the risk of the government interpretation against you.
Okay.
All right. Best of luck.
And just one more question. So in that case, after the 60 days ends, before that I can leave the country and then find a new job, and then can I come back?
Of course, with a new H1B visa stamp, absolutely.
Okay.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. VG, go ahead, please. VG.
Hello, Rajiv ji. Namaste. It's
Namaste,
funny
sir.
when I was in India, you had phone call as a system to call in. Now that I'm back in the US, you have this Zoom, which is helpful. But
Because
anyways,
people like you yelled at us saying, "What is this? We can't call
I
in."
never complained though. I
No,
just
no,
waited for my
I know,
turn.
but it's as convenient for us. Plus, I get to see some faces, not all, of course. So,
Right. Anyways, so I do have a question around remainder option. Given my I-140 is not approved,
mhm.
I wanted to ask how early should I ask my employer to file an H1 extension? I think that's how you file the remainder option.
No. Remainder option says this. Remainder option says if you are a dude who's got a green card going at a certain stage, okay, either you have a perm pending for let's say X number of months, 12 months actually, or you have an I-140 approved, and then you leave the United States for over a year. Now you have two choices. You can either come back and you can either go through the lottery and get 6 years of H1B again, or you can use the remainder of your H1B because your green card has been going on for 1 year. Okay. And remainder option simply says use the remaining time on your H1B. And that's actually quite okay because then you can keep getting extensions based upon your green card.
No, I think I misunderstood. I thought anytime a person goes out of the US, that person can recapture that time
That's called
irrespective.
recapture. That's called recapture. Remainder option means
Okay.
you can
Okay.
take the rest of the time remaining on your
So
H1B.
remainder option is not valid for me given there is no
No,
perm or anything
no.
happening for me.
You
So
just have
remainder I should
recapture. You just have
So
recapture.
recapture, how soon I should be, filing
So
that
that's just a
recapture?
normal process. It's not, there's no particular black magic in it. Whenever you are ready to apply, how much time do you have left on your 6 years of H1B?
6 months.
You have only 6 months left, huh?
Yes.
How much time do you have to recapture?
More than 2 years.
Apply
So
right now.
from 2020 to 2026, I just need to go ahead and look up my I-9s
Okay, yeah.
and then find out and then
Yeah.
just do the calculation plus minus, when I went out, when I
Absolutely.
returned, and then calculate. Because over the last 6 years, one time I was there, I was in India for 8 months, 6 months, 5 months, 2
You
months.
get
So
all of that back. So remember,
Right.
you can apply for an H1B extension 6 months ahead of time. And you can then at that time ask for all your recapture time. So
And
apply
that happens in which application?
H1B extension, normal application.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, this
Awesome.
is
Okay.
not a particularly difficult thing to do, just regular stuff.
Okay, I'll just ask my employer's lawyer to file that.
Yeah, they
one
should be
extension.
able to. No problem at all. All the
Awesome. Thank
best. Bye-bye. Kartikeya ji, Kartikeya Anand.
Hello, thank you, Rajiv ji, for taking this session.
Of
So,
course.
my question to you is my H1B is approved. I have the approval letter with me. I am on cap gap extension and I have also filed my STEM OPT 1 day before the expiring of that initial OPT. Now,
Okay.
my question to you is like I am hearing chatter in my company of impending layoffs. I haven't been laid off yet, but I'm like hearing chatter. So if I get laid off in cap gap extension, what are my options? Like, am I on H1B? Am I on initial OPT? Am I on STEM OPT? Can you
Okay.
tell me about?
So this is the way it works. How much time you have left on your OPT, STEM OPT combined?
So my OPT expired in August 14th, but on 13th of August I applied for my STEM OPT.
Is it still pending?
Yes, it is still pending. I filed it on 13th of August, like 1 day before my OPT got expired.
Okay.
But on my SCVP portal, I can see because my H1B is approved, the time has been extended till April 2026.
Right. That's the cap gap extension.
Yeah.
So basically, a cap gap extension is simply an extension of your optional practical training.
Okay.
So what you would do is, in order to restore your STEM OPT, etc., you will want to employer to revoke the H1B as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And then your DSO will be able to confirm that they have reverted you back to STEM OPT.
Okay, but I haven't been laid off right now, sir. So if my if 1st of October comes and I'm effectively changing to H1B, so how can I revoke my OPT
Then you
application?
cannot. The only way you can revoke an H1B is, let me rephrase that. The only way you can go back to STEM OPT is if your H1B is revoked before October 1st.
Okay, but I don't want to
Actually, hold
revoke
on.
H1B.
Let me think about this. Yes, it'll have to be revoked before October 1st.
Okay. But I don't want to revoke my H1B, right?
But see, you can't have both ways. You can't keep your OPT and keep your H1B both to hedge your bets. You have to pick one or the other. You have to go all in and convert to an H1B October 1st. Okay. Or you have to, if you are scared of, losing your job, then tell them to lay me off now and revoke my H1B so I can at least go back to my STEM OPT.
Okay, so sir, if I'm willing to go all in on H1B and so H1B got approved, I filed STEM OPT after my H1B got approved.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That doesn't change anything.
No, but will that be approved or rejected, or will I change if the result for that STEM
If
OPT
they
comes?
if they approve your STEM OPT before October 1st, they can do so. But after October 1st, they can no longer do so because you're on H1B.
Okay, so if they do before 1st of October, my H1B will go invalid?
If they revoke before October 1st, your H1B, you will no longer have an H1B. You will be still subject to the lottery.
Yeah, no, I understand. So if I don't tell my employer to revoke my H1B,
Mhm.
but I have already filed for OPT, and if the decision to approve the STEM OPT comes before 1st of October, what will happen?
No, nothing. You have a STEM OPT approval, but you are still gonna get kicked into H1B on October 1st.
Okay, okay. And after 1st of October, they will just reject my STEM OPT
They
application.
should, yes, because you no longer have F1.
Okay. And one more thing,
We have
Rajiv.
to close this down, so ask me the last question as
Yes,
quickly
sir.
as possible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, if I'm on cap subject H1B and
Mhm.
if I transfer to a cap exempt employer,
Mhm.
and after that, so will my H1B convert to cap exempt? Like if in future I want to come back to a cap subject employer, will
Mhm.
I need to enter the lottery again?
Yes, you will.
Okay. So I mean, changing the employer to cap exempt permanently changes your H1B quality.
No, you can still apply for an H1B. So if you were, let's say you change the hypothetical. Let's say October 1st came and you started working with this employer, which is a lottery employer, cap subject employer. And after 3 months, you got a great job with a cap exempt employer. They hired you on a cap exempt H1B. And 6 months later, you want to go back to cap. Can you do that? Sure. Converting from an activated cap subject H1B to a cap exempt H1B does not take away your lottery. You still have that selection already approved.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Good
sir,
luck.
sir, last question. Can I change my jobs before 1st of October on H1B?
I would not recommend it if you can avoid it. All
Okay.
right. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Rohanji, go ahead.
Hey, hi Rajiv ji. For my case, I got my H1B petition approved
Mhm.
in June, and in July I got promoted to a new position.
Okay.
So I just wanted to check, do I need to do any H1B amendment or LC amendment for that?
That's something you need to discuss with your lawyers. This is a
Mhm.
lottery H1B, right?
Yep, lottery H1B.
So I have a case like this, exactly like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a manufacturing company, and one of their engineers just got promoted. And when I looked at the job description, there was a salary hike of about 30%. That's a lot of difference, okay? So I did recommend that do an amendment, but what I said, just keep things simple. Let's postpone the promotion till October 1st, okay? Can we do an amendment even now? Yes, we can, but I don't like moving parts. I keep as few of them moving as I can as a practice-oriented lawyer. So first thing your lawyers need to see is there enough of a change in the two jobs that we need an amendment? Maybe you don't even need an amendment.
Right, right. Yeah, I checked with my lawyer. They said it's part of natural progression, so you don't need
No,
to.
that's not the issue.
Mhm.
Natural progression doesn't mean you don't need an amendment. The main question is the job substantially different from the job approved? Okay. So for example, I'm a software developer, and I got promoted to senior software developer. My job is 100% the same.
Right.
Only the salary is a little bit more, maybe a little bit more responsibility, maybe 5-10% difference in the job. I don't think I need an amendment.
Right, right. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. And there is one follow-up question. And also my wife's change of status is in progress from F2 to H4.
Okay.
And we are going to travel to India in November. So can she like get
Yeah.
an appointment with me
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
counselor? Okay.
Absolutely. Because remember, for H4, you don't need a USCIS approval.
Okay.
Even if the H4 is not approved by that time, it's still pending. You leave, go get an H4 visa stamping and come back. No big deal.
Okay, okay. All right. Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. Best of luck. RKC, go ahead, please. RKC. People, I think you forgot who you are. RKC. Okay, let me try. Ask to unmute. RKC? Okay, Manjuji, go ahead. Manju? What's going on, guys? Manju? Sandeep?
Hey, hi, Ajit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, what happened?
Okay. I have no idea what happened to the other guys, but yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to take this call. So to give you a little background on myself, so I'm right now on my H1B for the last 2 years, and my last date would be, I mean, for the current job would be early next week, which is on probably Monday or Tuesday. I haven't yet decided on that specific thing, but I have a couple of questions right now moving forward. So just wanted to get some clarification from you. So the first question I have is like, I heard you were mentioning about the difficulties and possibilities about the B2 visa earlier in the call. So I listened to all of that. And I have a question like, I mean, how early do you want me to start the process if I were to take the B2 visa situation right now?
As
So I mean,
early
do
as
you have?
possible.
Okay.
Because I just don't like the idea of waiting too long. If there is an NTA, I want you to be able to walk into the court and say, look, my B2 is already pending or it's already approved.
Okay. I mean, the reason why I'm asking is like I got a couple of interviews lined up for the next 2 weeks, so
It
I'm just
doesn't
curious
matter.
on
You can withdraw it. If you get
Okay.
another H1B offer and you file H1B, you can withdraw the B2. Talk to your lawyer and say, okay, I have a B2 pending. You want me to withdraw it? Tell me what the timing should be.
Okay, that sounds good then. Okay, the next question I have is like, so I also wanted to know like if I'm allowed to travel within the next 60 days, and will I still be able to get back and use the H1B? Is that tricky?
No,
Okay.
don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay.
Because if you travel, you lose the 60 days. There's a weird statement from Biden administration. I don't know if Trump is going to follow it. Biden administration said, you're not allowed to travel, but if you travel, no, travel, they were clear. But let's say you are outside the US and you are able to enter after the layoff, you will still get 60 days. But the only thing is, you probably should not be allowed to enter. So that's kind of a weird statement. I mean,
Okay.
if I make it back, I'm okay. But if I don't, so the bottom line is you're not allowed to travel during those 60 days.
Got it. Okay, that definitely makes a lot of sense. And apart from, I mean, the next question, I mean, I'll just make it really quick. So next question I have is like, I mean, it's just a little elaborate, but I mean, is there any other option for me apart from the B2 situation for me right now, which you recommend kind of?
No, I mean, F1, F2, if you're married H4, I mean, just the normal options. There's no extraordinary
Okay.
option that I can think of.
Okay, got it. Yep. Those were all my questions. Thank you very much for taking the time. And
Thank you for being quick.
Hello,
Sundar.
am I audible?
yeah, honest, thank
Yeah,
you.
one second. RKC?
This is RKC.
Yeah, once I'll get to you. 1 second. 1 second. Let me lower Sandeep's hand. RKC, then Manju. Yeah, RKC, go ahead, please.
Hello, sir. Sorry. Sir, I have a small
Okay,
doubt.
Did you go to get a cup of coffee?
No, I went to use the restroom.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
So, sir, I have a small question about the H1B grace period. So, at what point will an employee get into the grace period? Like, is it the date he gets laid off, or is it the final the day he gets the pay, or like?
Yeah. So here is the problem. Under the Biden administration, the rule was your 60-day grace period begins the day covered by your last paycheck. Covered by your last paycheck. So let's say October, you got a paycheck covering you till the end of November. Then your 60-day will begin in December. Trump administration archived that page. Okay. So now we are just saying, you know what, assume that your 60 days begin the day after your you stop working.
Okay.
Okay.
If November 23rd is my last date, then November 24th is when my 60 days starts.
Yeah, that is the conservative thing to do.
Okay. So like in that sense, if let's just say like a new employer filed an H1 and it's pending. So in that case, will the November 24th is still considered grace period? Like in the sense, if the new employer start date is December 10th. So is that November 24th to December 9th, would that come under grace period?
Okay, so let's say, taking your example, let's say that you have your new employer has filed an H1B within the 60-day grace period.
Okay, yeah.
But they gave the start date outside those 60 days.
Yeah,
that's the question, right?
Like November 23rd is my last date, the current place, and the I already got an offer, and the start date for that is December 9th. And they've filed the H1 before November 23rd itself.
Okay, but the start date is still within the 60-day grace period, correct?
Yeah.
No problem at all, that's fine.
And what would those days be? Would that be like my grace period counts, or is just like since it is already filed, it is just not even grace period?
That's a very interesting question. And the answer is it's not even grace period.
It's not even grace period if they file?
Nope. You have a pending case.
Okay, so if it's filed, it's not a grace period. If there is nothing if there is no filing, then it is grace period.
That is correct. Because your H1B was filed before your grace period even started.
Yeah.
The fact that you are now out of the old job does not mean the grace period is needed. You don't need the grace period because you have an already timely filed H1B.
Okay. And if they file the H1 on November 30, then probably the 24th to November 30, those 7 days would be grace period. Something like that.
If they file once the grace period kicks in, then you are in grace period.
Okay, got it.
Best of luck, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Manjuji, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the amazing forum, firstly.
Of course.
And my question is, what are the remedies available for multiple USCIS denial due to oversight?
Multiple USCIS denial because they screwed up? Is that what you're saying, Manjuji?
Yes, sir. They screwed up my I-140, 485, saying that my I-140 is denied, but I had appealed and it was reopened, but yet they denied my 485.
Writ of mandamus. You file a litigation. I'll be surprised if the facts are good. I'll be surprised if they don't reopen the case within a couple of weeks.
Okay, so what exactly should I be filing?
Where are you located?
I'm in Texas, Houston, sir.
Yeah, get yourself a local litigator. And just somebody who's experienced with immigration litigation, and tell them, many times the more experienced lawyers can just reach out to the U.S. Attorney's office and see if a lawsuit is even needed.
Oh,
They might be able to just tell the government, what the hell are you guys doing? So, okay.
Is it necessary local, sir, or can I reach your office?
I am not doing litigations, at least not this year.
Okay.
I'm too busy right now.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so
Best
much,
of
sir.
luck, Manjuji.
How is Awesomeburg? I'm sorry, I'm not probably pronouncing the right way. There is also an office that does unofficially take these up against the USCIS administrative oversights, right?
I don't understand what you said, Manjuji.
As Ombudsman.
Who? Ombudsman? I've never heard their name. I don't know who they are.
Ombudsman. So
Sorry.
OMBUD.
Oh, Ombudsman's office. I think
Yeah.
Ombudsman's office was closed down by Trump.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, Ombudsman. Hindi में जिसको लोकपाल बोलते हैं.
जी.
But I don't think that office is even open anymore.
Okay.
I don't think it survived because there was a huge. I think when Trump tried to close it, a lot of people objected. I don't know if it survived or not. You can take a look at it. Certainly worth a try. You can try approaching the Ombudsman's office if they're still open, and you can file a complaint with them. They can be effective in cases like this.
Thank you so much, sir.
Best of luck,
Yeah.
Ji.
Thank you so much.
Saili ji, go ahead. Saili?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. How can I help you?
Yeah. Hi. Very good afternoon. So I had a doubt regarding my F1 visa, and I would like to explain my situation. I first traveled to USA in the fall of 23 for my master's program. However, due to the family emergency, I had to return to India in October of 23. And I had attended classes for a month, and I applied for a leave of absence, and the university processed it as an early withdrawal with a comment saying I would return back, and which led to the termination of my service record. After that, I applied for a B1 B2 visa, and I've recently traveled to USA on the work related meetings through my employer.
Okay.
Now, currently, I am in the process of rejoining the same university, the same master's program for the spring 26 intake. I still have a valid F1 visa that expires in May 28. I have already requested a new I-20 for the upcoming intake. So my questions are, since I have a valid F1 visa, can I use it with the new I-20 without any issues at the port of entry, or would it be better to apply for a new F1 visa?
What was the gap between you came in 23, right?
Yeah, I came back in October of 23, within just 2 months.
Within just 2 months. So
Yeah.
the visa is still good.
Yeah.
When did you finish your master's degree?
So I didn't finish. I just attended classes for a month, and I had applied for an leave of absence.
Leave of absence. And the DSO approved that.
Yes,
How
and
long was that supposed to be?
they said you can come back anytime, whenever you want. Just take a new I-20 and you can come back. But they did terminate my service record.
I think your visa would have to be reapplied. But when does your visa expire?
In May of 2028.
Well, but the thing is, what if you pay the new service fees? You'll have to pay the new service fees.
Yes, I have to.
Check with your DSO. I think you might be able to use the same visa. Because I was going to say, no, you need a new visa. But if you pay the new service fees, the service is reactivated. Please double check
Because
with the DSO. Okay. I'm
okay,
not sure exactly. I have to look at the regulations. I'm
because
not
if the service is terminated, would it be active again, or will they provide me with a new I-20 with a
I
new
think they'll
service
give you a
ID?
new I-20, a new service number.
Yeah, because when I connected with the international services of my university, they said it's up to you whether you want to go ahead with a new visa. We cannot tell you what the situation might be at the port of entry.
Yeah, I think getting a new visa would be the better thing to do. As far, again, I haven't looked at the regs. I'm just speaking from memory.
Okay, but like if I apply for a new visa, will there be any complications given that I have
They can
already?
deny you. They can deny you the F1. That's always a possibility. But you have a good
Okay.
record. You came to the US on a student visa. You studied for a while, then went and came back again, attended classes, took a leave of absence. After that, you've come on a business visa, and you're returning on time. I think it's a good record, but I don't know. I can't predict the mind of a visa officer.
So now, as I can apply for an interview waiver, which is still valid till September of 20, I mean, September of 2nd, would it be advisable to
I don't
put
know.
down for the,
I don't know the answer to that question. All depends upon the visa officer.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, sir.
Best of luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Joe, go ahead, please, Joe.
Hi, Rajiv ji. Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So my question is, I got my H1B approved recently. I have my I-797A, but now I want to go back to India and get my visa stamped.
Okay.
But my SOC code is that of a database administrator, but my job title recently changed to a data scientist senior consultant.
That's a huge.
But my job roles do significantly align with that of a database administrator. So is that going to be
But that
problem?
sounds like a totally different job title. A data scientist and a database administrator have nothing in common.
Yeah, so I think data engineer has significant overlap with data administrator, right? So I do a lot of data engineering in my job. So that might be the reason why the lawyers put it up as a database administrator associate. That's what I'm assuming.
Did they do an H1B amendment for you?
No, they did not. It was my first H1B, and I was on F1 before.
So, which year did you get your H1B?
This year.
So it hasn't kicked in yet. It starts on October 1st.
It has not. Yes.
Right? Okay, so you got a change in the job before the H1B even kicked up.
I got a change in my job title. So it was, my job title was data and
So let me
analytics
stop you for a
consulting.
second. Let me stop you.
Yeah.
We talked about this in another case. The key differentiator here is, or the key point to decide is your job substantially the same or different? Okay. If the job is different, I think it's problematic. You should continue with the old job. I just don't like moving parts. I said that before. Continue with the same job. After October 1st, file an amendment. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then change your job. But I just don't like the idea of filing an amendment while the H1B has not even kicked in.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. So my job has not changed at all. It has been the same. It is just the title that they had a remap in the title.
I'm not going to comment on that because your lawyers have to tell you whether it's the same job or not. If it is the same job, change of job title doesn't bother me.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. Thank you. And one more question, Rajivji. So if I go without an amendment to the interview, and during the interview they ask me what the job title is, should I tell them the job title on the SCA?
Always the truth.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. It's Dave or Dev, one of the two.
Yes, sir. It's Dave.
Okay. Haji Dev ji.
It's been a long call, sir.
Oh, it's all
for almost my questions. Like there's so many things going on, but sir, I am on H1B as of today. I have a C14 EAD card with me.
Okay, what's a C14 EAD card? I don't know what that section
is. Basically a U visa EAD card.
Okay, all right.
By deferred action. Okay. And I'm also contesting for EB1A down the line.
Okay.
And I'm planning to switch from H1B to EAD.
Okay.
And do you think it's going to be a problem down the line when I apply for EB1A?
I always prefer to be on H1B.
Okay.
Whenever I have a choice between converting to, for example, EAD or 485, I like to keep the H1B option open. It gives me a lot more flexibility if things went wrong.
Okay.
All
so
right.
do you think it's going to be a conflict down the line if I take up something on the side where I'm planning to do a business using C14 but still maintaining my H1B?
You can't do both. No. The moment you start using your EAD, your H1 is gone.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the only doubt I had.
Best of luck, Dev.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate this.
My pleasure. Anonymous, go ahead, please. Anonymous. Hello, Anonymous.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for taking my call. I have a question, and I think I have a green card, and I was arrested in a assault and battery case, which was dismissed without penalty. That was 11 years ago.
Okay.
And it was dismissed without any penalty, without any kind of conviction, plain dismissed. And I had included my police report, the court docket during the green card application, and the green card got approved.
Okay, good.
And I have traveled twice in and out of the USA with the green card.
Okay.
Will there be any trouble traveling again, given the...
I don't think so. But what you can do is, just for your peace of mind,
Yes.
In which state was the conviction or the arrest, etc.? Which state?
It was in Massachusetts.
What I want you to do is go to a lawyer who's experienced at least 10 years in deportation removal practice. That's what they call it, deportation/removal. Okay. Show them your paperwork. Say, is there any problem? They should be able to confirm for you right away. There is no issue.
Okay. And also, I have a few other questions, if I can ask.
You can make them real quick because I'm running out of steam. I've got 2 more people to cover.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there are like good moral character memo coming out of her citizenship application.
Already done, already covered. It's on my blog. It's also on my Economic Times page.
Yeah, I have a quick point. So, like, if let's say I currently have a job. If I lose my job, let's say for 6 months, 1 year, if I become jobless for 6 months, 1 year, like, will I have any trouble applying for citizenship?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question. They look at your total history. If the trouble that you had was more than 10 years ago, have you been a good person since then? And all of a sudden, government has shifted the focus from absence of crime to presence of goods. So, presence of good deeds. So, the way I see it, you have to prove that you are a good guy before you can get naturalization according to the new government standards. Losing a job, does it matter? Well, I don't know the answer to that question. Time will tell. I don't think it should be a problem because if you're trying to find a job and it's beyond your control. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome. Best of luck, sir. Kumarji, go ahead.
Hi, Rajiv ji. I have a question for my friend. He was on H1B, recently laid off, and he's currently on grace period. Is asking like, can he apply for H4? And if he does, like, and the application is in process and he gets the, job the next day, can he withdraw the, H4 application? And what if he receives an NTA? Because we are seeing people receiving NTA. What does the process look like in that situation?
Just wait for the recording of this call. In the beginning of this call, I've discussed about the NTS. It's the same answer. I won't repeat it.
Okay.
Can he apply for an H4? Sure. Should he?
What if?
Sorry.
Yeah. What if H4 is in pending and he gets the job the next day? Can he withdraw application?
Probably not. He will have to wait until the H1B is approved, and he'll probably have to go outside for visa stamping if the H4 is still pending when his H1 is approved. If the H4 is approved and then he applies for an H1, no problem at all.
No, he's already on H1, laid off. He's planning to apply for H4.
You didn't hear my answer.
Oh, okay.
I understood your situation. You have not waited to hear my answer.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So listen to me very carefully. I've said this before. I'll say it one more time. your H1B cannot be approved within the United States if your H4 is still pending, not approved.
Okay.
But if the H4 is approved when you apply for H1, no problem at all. You'll get it within the US.
Okay.
A pending case does not give you status. It just gives you permission to stay in the US.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's overwhelming. I have to, listen to the recording again.
Yeah, you can
Thank
listen to the recording. Also, I have discussed this many, many times. This is also on our frequently asked questions on immigrationdotcom. Okay.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you, Rajiv ji.
You're welcome. Ayushji, go ahead.
Yeah, hi Rajivji. I have a very basic question. Just want to understand how's the travel situation. I am on H1B, got 2 years approved 2 years back, and we have a US citizen baby. So we are planning to travel to India. Is it safe to travel, or do you have any like?
Do you have any gap in your status? Do you have paychecks, W-2s covering your entire period?
No, I've been so I was laid off when I was on OPT, STEM OPT, and then I got an employer and they filed my H1B. And from day one, I was working on STEM OPT for the rest of the time until my H1B kicked in, and I'm working with the same employer.
How long have you had your H1B? You said 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So for the last 2 years, you have your W-2s and your paychecks?
Yeah.
I don't think you'll have any problem.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and is there a time duration, we should be not working more than these many days outside US or?
I have written an article on it. If you go to my blog and read up, it tells you in detail.
Okay.
I have covered every possible angle: international law, labor law, Department of Labor law, USCIS rulings, CBP rulings. So just go to my blog on immigrationdotcom. I have covered this completely. I just did that last week.
Okay. But you don't think there will be any issues in travel?
I don't think so. All the best.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Very welcome. Guys, good talking to all of you. I hope this recording's this streamed, because I forgot to record, because if it's streamed, then it's being recorded already.
I think it's been streamed on the LinkedIn as well. So
okay, good, because
I saw it there.
That's excellent. Because I'd been trying to, and I just couldn't get it to work, but this time I guess I did. Sandeep ji, you're welcome. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next Thursday, okay? Take care, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.